And so we show up to the shop this morning, and guess what is here? Yeah, Sonic's here. Yeah, little Sonic on the back. She getting a transplant this morning. Motor's ready to drop in. See how much faster she gets. ZX4 or EX4. That's our pistons before we do anything to them. And that one is at top dead center. And there's our head before we do anything. Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of work to this bad boy. Got slightly different valve heights on these. This one we sunk in more. We're gonna end up sinking this in the same and then taking the difference off the head. That way we can gain some compression and get it to more where we want, because these voids here are kind of annoying. Don't really need those divots, but I'd rather not weld on this head. And this makes me excited. We got everything ready on the R6 early on schedule. Ports are all cleaned up. Ceramic all the way down in the port. Ceramic in the chamber. Ceramic on the pistons. Teflon skirts. 24mm exhaust valves. These are going on the 400 build. The head for that is upstairs in the oven, baking. We got some valves that are going in that. Bigger valves, both 24 on the exhaust and 29 on the intake. These are still standard R6 valves that have been coated, but woo, I'm excited. Now Kawasaki, that is proper deck height. No more sunk a whole frickin' millimeter and a half down the bore. And that still isn't all the way up to the top. But I had to leave a little bit of room for safety. Let's get the piston rings on this bitch and get her all lined up. Well, I don't need to do that yet. I need to dry fit this thing first. So we all done with the main tune, and we ended up with 61.5, 31 foot-pounds of torque. Blue is last time before the motor build, and green is back when it was stock. That's some huge gains out of this bad boy. We'll do gasoline next. So she's naked, but she's all done. Final results, the 85 run is the green run up there. Red was before we modified the pistons again. The dark blue is gasoline. We had to take a decent amount of ignition timing out of that. She's making a lot of compression, so she doesn't particularly like pump fuel. The green is what we had before we built the motor. That is with the velocity stacks and the throttle bodies. The blue run is what we had a few renditions prior to that, so different velocity stacks. I think that's before stacks overall and the first tune. So it's all the different renditions of it. I'll compare it against some other stuff Add some torque, baby. Final results. We got both E85 making more power than methanol, which is kind of crazy, but methanol made more torque. But this fuel injector is kind of maxed out, so that doesn't surprise me that it falls off up there. We don't have secondary fuel injectors on this. And yes, I did run methanol richer, but that was the better. I leaned it out and it did not get better. And I guess I got somebody pulling up on something to interrupt this fidget. So coming up next is going to be the R6 build. Looking forward to having that done. You can see the beginning of that video here in a moment. Click off to the right or to the left, whichever it is. We're going to do a different build on the ZX14, so look forward to bits and pieces of that coming through as the pursuit of 200 mile an hour plus.